Implementing EdPuzzle by Christian Way. A little bit about your presenter. I've been teaching now for 20 years. My first 4 years were at the middle school level. My last 16 years were at Blaine High School in Blaine, Minnesota. I'm a math teacher by trade. Last year I taught a Project Lead the Way class called Computer Science Principles for our SEMS program. That is a Center of Engineering and Mathematics and Science. I am currently also pursuing my master's certificate in educational technology. My objectives today are to look at the accessibility requirements of EdPuzzle, have an overview of the station rotation model of blended learning, look at how to create an EdPuzzle assignment, what kind of data do you receive from EdPuzzle, and integrating EdPuzzle in with Google Classroom. The accessibility requirements for EdPuzzle app would be any technology with internet access, but internet is a requirement. You can use any computer, iPad, iPhone, Chromebook, Android phone. They all work for the EdPuzzle app. EdPuzzle also does integrate with Google Classroom, so if they have Google Classroom on the device, chances are they can use the EdPuzzle app also. The station rotation model with blended learning, what we're looking at is students will rotate within a contained classroom. Students rotate at a set time schedule, so they'll rotate from station to station, either possibly every 15 to 20 minutes. It's kind of at the teacher's discretion for the lesson that they're teaching. And then at least one station has to be technology based, which is where the EdPuzzle can come in very handy. EdPuzzle is ideal for the flipped concept of that's within the blended learning. Flipped classroom is, in my mind, it's a little bit different than the station rotation model. That's where the students are at home watching videos. This allows students to complete their work on their own time. Teachers get feedback by using the EdPuzzle app, getting the percent of the video watched, questions answered, and you can also grade the questions that are answered. The deal with the whole flipped classroom concept, I think that's ideal for a larger video in relationship to EdPuzzle, but you could make a shorter version of these EdPuzzle activities that would be a great addition to the station rotation model for blended learning. So let's take a look at EdPuzzle here. So here I've jumped onto the edpuzzle.com. We're going to go ahead and log in. So I'm going to go in as a teacher. I'm going to use my school account here. We'll fly in here. So here's some options there at the top of the EdPuzzle app. You got your search. You can search through different videos to use for EdPuzzle. You got your content here. My content, I purposely have it empty right now. And then my classes. So this is where we're going to start. We're going to start by adding a class. You can either add a class here by clicking add a class and getting a code. We'll call this one trial 1. So here I got trial 1. We have no members in the class. At this point here, you could invite members to your class. You get this code. You share that code to your students. When your students log into EdPuzzle, all they have to do is enter that code in and they'll find themselves entered into your class. What I'm going to use here is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this class real quick because I'm going to import a class from my Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to import from Google Classroom. I have my honors geometry class that I have all my students' private data on, so I'm not going to use it for this video. I made a trial 1 here. I'm going to import that. This one only has one student in it. That's me. So as I as I go into my members here, you can see my own name here. There's my email address. You can edit the name, reset the password, remove students as needed. This is a nice, easy tie-in to the Google Classroom as we talked about before. So now that we have a class to work with, let's set up a project. So we're going to go to search. You can see over here on the left-hand side, you can look in within your school. You can see here we have some different teachers in our building that have used EdPuzzle. Not a lot, but there's some of them that are there. There's different videos that have been used for EdPuzzle in the past. There's YouTube, Khan Academy, National Geographic, TED Talks. There's a bunch of different options here. So under YouTube, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to choose a fun one here. There's a Pixar short on teamwork here. It's a little cartoon. We're going to go ahead and use this as our video. So once you get in here, there's some different tools you have. You got your crop. You can do an audio track over the top of everything. That's where you're just going to talk through everything, kind of as what the same as what I'm doing right now with capturing this video. You can throw in some audio notes. They'll pause the video and allow you to talk a little bit at the video, and then it'll continue on, and then you can add some quizzes or questions into it. So we're going to start here with the crop. So as you scroll through the video here, you can see there's 3 different scenes in this video. One of the scenes is the penguins, then you have the ants, and then you have these crabs. Well, I'm going to shorten this video up a little bit, so we're going to end with the ants. So let's get back here a little bit. We're going to pause it there. I'm going to move this back here to the 52 seconds. That should allow me to only have the first 2 scenes of this video, leaving out the crabs. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the end of scene number 1. Right. You can see the penguins tip the iceberg over, get the killer whale to run into the iceberg and sink, and they live happily ever after. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an audio track or an audio note. You click on the audio note, you click down here, and you can see that you can see this going up and down. You can see the darker color orange over the yellow. What that's doing right now is that's recording my voice over this video at this point in time right here. So the video will pause, and then it'll pick up right where I left off without any moving of the video, but you can add whatever notes you want at that point in time. So I've added some of my commentary right now to that video, and then you can move on. So we're going to move on to the next scene here where you got the ants going through. You can see the ants working away. All of a sudden the one ant's getting sucked away by the anteater. Looks like the boss ant here is he's thinking about what to do. So we're going to ask a question here. So we got our choices here. We can ask a question, we can ask a multiple choice question, or we can make just a general comment. So we're going to ask a multiple choice question. We're going to say, what do you think the ants are going to do? And we're going to add some choices. We're going to say they're going to make a life chain and save their friend. Or are they going to make a large ant ball to plug up the anteater? We can add another response, and we're going to just say they're going to attack the anteater. So there's your 3 options here. You can choose which ones you want to be the wrong options, which ones you want to be the right options. You can add more to it. You can add pictures. You can add a link in each one of these. You can insert an equation for your math people. There's a lot of different options here for the multiple choice. We're going to go ahead and hit save. You can see here that it added that question in. And then we can go ahead and move forward from there. You can see here that the ants created that ball, plugged up the anteater, knocked it out. Now, so you could add multiple questions. You can add as many questions as you want to a video. You can add as many audio tracks as you want, or audio notes. The audio track is the one, again, it's a one-time deal where you just record over the top of the whole video. So we're going to go ahead and save this. You can see here everything is saved every few seconds. It's kind of like Google like that, where it's automatically saving as it goes, and we're going to go ahead and finish it. Now at this point, when you finish it, you can share it with anybody or you can assign it to a class. So I'm going to assign this to my trial geometry class. This option here where it says prevent skipping, you can either have it prevent skipping or not prevent skipping. If you do a not prevent skipping, you have to be prepared for your students to jump wherever they want as they want. If you do prevent skipping, what it does is if it prevents the students from moving forward. They can move backwards, but they cannot move forward. And then you can assign a due date here. I'll assign this for tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. and we're going to go ahead and assign it. So here it's assigned within the EdPuzzle app. We're good to go for EdPuzzle. If your student goes ahead and logs in, they'll be able to see it through the EdPuzzle app and go ahead and work through the project. Now, what it also has over here is it has a progress button. You can take a look at the progress here, see how they're doing. You can see I've watched 0. My grade is 0. Last seen, nothing, obviously, because we haven't done anything yet with it. You can take a look at where they're at within the classroom. But what's really interesting to me is going to this post here, because I want to be able to tie this into my Google Classroom. So as I hit post, this is posting it to Google Classroom. You can see here it kind of opens up a little link to Google Classroom, asks me to choose my class that I'm going to tie it to. So I'm going to tie it to my trial geometry class. I'm going to create an assignment with it. You can see there's other options there, ask a question, make an announcement, but I'm going to create an assignment. I'm going to go ahead and go down here and hit go. It's going to ask me for a little bit more data. It's going to ask me for the due date again, so it does not carry that due date over from the EdPuzzle app. So you have to create that due date again. You can choose a topic if you have a topic for it, but now we're going to go ahead and assign it. It tells you that you've now posted that to your Google Classroom. We can go down here to the bottom right corner and view it. This will open up my Google Classroom. You can see here it's a very generic Google Classroom. This is just for presentation purposes only. But you can see here that you had 0 people done, or 0 people have done it, 1 person not done. And this is what they're going to see on their Google Classroom. We're going to now log in as a student. So we're going to open up our browser. We're going to change accounts here, so I'm going to change back to my personal account here. We're going to get logged into Google Classroom. This is what the students will see in the form of Google Classroom. Now you're in here. We can click on our assignment. We'll click on EdPuzzle. We'll go ahead and view this, listening to all the details and answering all the questions. At this point, the audio note is playing, and it'll tell you exactly whatever you want to emphasize at this point of the video, and then it will pick up where it left off. Okay, we're now reaching the question. What do you think the ants are going to do? Attack the anteater, make a life change, make a large ant ball to plug up the anteater. We're going to collect the correct answer. We're going to hit submit. It automatically grades it for us. When we hit continue, the video continues to play. All right, once we're done with this, we can go ahead and close out of this. We can mark, now we're back in Google Classroom. We closed out of the EdPuzzle app. We can mark it as done. And we can go ahead and confirm that it's marked as done. Now we're all set here. And we're back here. We got it marked done here on our Google Classroom, and we can go ahead and log out. You're now going to log back in as a teacher. So we're going to open up our internet. We're going to hop into EdPuzzle. And we're going to go ahead and log in into Google Classroom. Just checking to make sure I'm in the right account. Go under Google Classroom. Go under our trial geometry class. We can see here that we got one person done, 0 people not done, so we're good to go there. I'm going to exit out of there. We take a look here under progress. This is one of the bugs I'm not sure how to fix right now. I tried to change my name to my wife's name and it didn't quite stick. So it still has it under myself as a teacher taking it. It shows that I have 100%. I took it 20 minutes ago. It's turned in on time. Um, we could take a look at the results here. I got 100% watched, 100% response. If I was less than 100% watched or 100% responding, this would be a bar graph, and you would see the green only partially covering the results here. I'm going to go ahead and show you that we can export this. We can export it as a comma separated file or a CSV file that easily opens up in Excel or in Google Sheets. I already have one open over here, so I'm going to drag this over to my screen, pop it open. You can see here I was trying to do a different demonstration with my daughter's names. I got Caitlin and Madison in here. Caitlin had only watched 30% of it. She answered the 1 out of 1 question correctly. She got 100% on that question. Last seen, it gives you the date and the time. Once you turn it in, it also records that date and time here, and it checks off if you turned it in on time. Some very valuable information as you're trying to formatively assess your students' progress as they progress through this assignment, whether you do it in class in a station type setting or whether they are doing it at home in a flip type setting where they're trying to make up for lost time in the classroom. So a little summary here, EdPuzzle is a great substitution for informational videos in classes. It brings a little extra level of interaction to these videos. And when implementing it into a station rotation model, these short EdPuzzles could be a great introduction to a concept or an activity. I could really see this. I used a lot of GeoGebra in my geometry classes. I could see this as a lead in to the activity in GeoGebra where they do the EdPuzzle first and then they pick up a GeoGebra activity afterwards, and then after they're done with that concept, they move on to the next station and revisit a new concept, and they do that about 3 or 4 times throughout the class period, depending on the number of concepts we're covering, and getting a broad spectrum of the lesson. As a teacher, you receive some pretty good, valuable information from the students. You get to know that what they've done and what they've accomplished within the classroom before they leave. You can pull up that information at any time and see their progress, which is kind of a big deal. You really want to know where your kids are before they leave the classroom. Just that formative assessing as you go. It's just another form of formative assessing as you progress through the lesson. That's all for this video. I appreciate you listening. Thank you for your time.